Grammy-nominated music producer,
DJ extraordinaire,
entrepreneur Steve Aoki, launching his own venture platform, Aoki Labs, and its focus on well-being and innovation.
Evolution is absolutely necessary if you want to survive.
Play the long game because you love what you do.
Everyone has their own way to evolve as an artist. This is the Steve Aoki way.
So, Steve, most of the audience here knows you for being a DJ, for throwing cake.
It's definitely a different stage.
Little different stage. I don't know. We got some people in the front row though, so maybe they thought they might get some action.
Right.
We're joined here by Jacob as well from Superpower. Very excited to hear his story. But to get us started, why don't you just tell us how I'm sure some people are wondering why you're here on stage. Why don't you tell us how you first got started in investing?
Yeah. Well, I'm just a very hyper person in general. So it doesn't matter if it's music, art, or the creative space, but I'm definitely curious about what shifts culture, what impacts culture in different ways. And when I started becoming more successful as a DJ and I started actually going, oh, wow, I have some money now. I need to deploy this in a different way than I'm used to. That's when I got into investing. I got into investing like in the 2000s, pretty much large part of the 2000s, and then later I started a fund after the pandemic. And it's just like anything, whether it's music or investing, curiosity will get you there. But then you have to make sure that you have the right team around you, the experts, whatever it might be, that can help guide you in the space. And so whether it's the investing part or also like I have a foundation which focuses on the brain, I would bring in scientists and researchers to help me understand that more and make sure that I'm making the right moves. So it's been an incredible journey, and I've met a lot of friends along the way, and yeah, it's all exciting.
What about the way that you live your life or approach things? It sounds like curiosity is a part of it, but also just meeting interesting founders, portfolio companies.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it the same way that, like, I've been running my label. I have a record label, Dibmock, I've had for 30 years. We just hit 30 years this year. And I look at it the same way as finding and signing new artists or working on songs that are going to be part of culture or how it's going to move culture. In order to be able to do that, you have to, it's about like finding, who's going to actually move the needle. And that's exciting. To be the A&R, to like find the artists that actually do change the culture. I've been doing that since I was a kid, and it's a very similar world to investing. Like finding the companies that are going to actually move the needle, and then now, since I have a team, and since I have an incredible team that actually does all the due diligence and all the work, I can be part of the discovery, and the whole process can actually make sense. So Fund 1, we just closed last year, and we had one company that was really successful, and we had to close early so that all the LPs are taken care of, and now we're launching Fund 2.
Very exciting, yes, definitely. And I'd love to hear, speaking of amazing founders, Jacob over here, how did the two of you first meet?
We met a year ago, and it was me showing up at his house in Vegas to take his blood and onboard him to the healthcare Superpower platform.
Yeah, so I mean, before this, like, I'm obsessed with health. So the two categories that I really look into, especially with investing, is entertainment, because I'm an entertainer. So all things consumer products and music, whatnot, all that is in that category. And then health is a big category for me. Mm-hmm. So whether it's just road testing myself, but obviously metrics is the number one thing that you really need to get down and dialed. And then I heard about what Jacob was doing with Superpower. And I try to meet with different founders that are doing very interesting things. And Jacob really schooled me and educated me on a way that I haven't heard. And
I'm now his personal doctor.
No, he's not. But like, I meet up with Gary Brecka or Brian Johnson or different people. I'm like really curious, and also trying to take action with that curiosity and like meet with the experts, like I was saying. And Jacob came over. We dialed in what I need to work on. specific to me, and I was like, wow, what he's building is not something that's just for people that have this access. He's trying to make it where it can actually be scalable. It's cheap enough. It's cheaper than what's out there, and it's like high level quality, healthcare. So that was really, really exciting to me.
Jacob, why don't you tell us a bit about what Superpower is?
So first I'll say that I shouldn't even be here right now. I shouldn't be here right now because 4 years ago I almost lost my life to healthcare failures. So I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder called Crohn's colitis, ended up getting stuck in the hospital for close to 6 months, lost part of my stomach, was cut, drugged, and billed, stuck with a multi-million-dollar bill, and told to medicate for life. And that's all when you start to peel back the onion due to a lot of the perverse incentives that exist in health systems today, where 80 to 90% of the revenue comes from pharmaceuticals and surgeries. So they're very economically incentivized to not often give the patients the best tools that help them get to the root cause of their disease and treat them. Instead, it's the things that are sometimes going to make them the most money. So Superpower was born as what we call the world's first healthcare super app to help give patients and consumers control for the very first time and democratize access to this higher level of care that if you have money and you're in the know, people like Steve was talking about his relationships with doctors oftentimes have access to. We want to make that accessible to every American. So we built a platform that for $200 a year, you can find us at superpower.com. Same price as a Netflix subscription, Amazon Prime, Spotify, the same consumer utilities that most of us subscribe to and don't even think twice about. We wanted to build something similar for health. So we test your whole body, put all of your health data on your phone, make it really easy to access and understand what those results mean, and then you get a 24/7 AI plus human doctor team of primary care for, again, a very low price.
And Steve, I think, the way you're set up, you're a DJ, right? The lifestyle that you associate with a DJ, people don't necessarily associate with also being a health nut. What have you found as you've explored different opportunities? When you first met Jacob, what stands out and drives that curiosity to explore these opportunities for longevity and different ways of expanding your life?
I think for any entertainer, you have to be at your maximum A game, no matter what. I'm playing 200 to 250 shows a year, still been doing this for 20 years. So in order to do that, you have to have a high quality of life, high energy, and longevity in your health. You have to really think about that. Like when I first started DJing, it's a whole different world. I'm like, oh my God, the parties are craziness. It's like you get kind of lost in that sauce. But once I learned what the true priorities are and the requisites to actually be at my A game at all times, it's about just finding the edge, finding the edge of what works for my lifestyle. And of course, metrics is really important, but you have to just, whether it's a hyperbaric, whether it's sauna, whether it's supplements, but most importantly, understanding your baseline, getting the right people around you that can really help you. And if you could find a way to democratize that and bring that out to more people, that's exciting. And that's why it's just really great to bring Jacob on stage. It's like one of the things I love doing in with my life is how can I get great people that are providing a great service to more, to more and more people. I think that's really a platform I have that can help.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. And Jacob, I think you were going to jump in as well, just in terms of how Superpower addresses that. So if you want to cover that first, and then I'd love to dive in further into the idea of how you're helping with that access.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we really bonded. So we started the company with the core belief that if you can superpower your health, you can superpower your life. And having your health foundation in order unlocks all the things you want to achieve out of this existence, whether it's being a better entertainer, actor, artist, entrepreneur, business person, mom, dad. We want you to be, maxing your mitochondrial capacity and improving your nutrient stores so that you can show up more vibrant to all the things you care about.
Steve, on that access point, using Jacob as an example and just more broadly, how are you using your brand, your recognition, your platform that you have to amplify the value and the awareness of these types of opportunities?
I think now that we have a team in place, now we can actually arm these smaller companies that have great vision with their own teams and help deploy what they're doing. And that's what's so great about having a fund is that at the end of the day, you need capital for things to grow. You need connection to people that can help finance and fund that. And then, this goes right back to all the reasons why I love doing what I do. I love watching what I consider, this spark that's special blossom. whether it's an artist that I'm signing on my label, whether it's an artist I'm working with, whether it's the music I'm working on, whether it's a company that I believe in, whether it's an individual that's like, I feel like it's gonna really impact the world. These are all part of the same thread. And I would say I attribute, that curiosity and the excitement and the execution is part of like my own success story. Like I feel like, I'm constantly curious. I'm constantly trying to implement like a team to help grow these things. So, it's like, at the end of the day, it's like the two things I focus on, health and happiness. As long as it's underneath that, then it makes sense for what we're doing.
Absolutely. Is there a specific trait, I guess thinking about music, is there something specific that you found that was common among many of the artists that you would discover really early on that applies to founders of companies as well?
They're all different, and that's what makes the journey of finding artists always dynamic, because I think one of the most important threads, I'm thinking about this, it's something that surprises you, that obviously I think the one thing that we can all agree on, it fills a void in the space. That's clearly what we're all looking for.
Of course.
And that's something that's easy to understand. And the most important way to do that is let those things incubate with the right people. Mm-hmm. So like one of my things that I love to do is like I follow the noise. So if there's a lot of chatter over here, but it's happening in a small area, then you have to jump into that little room and understand what is moving in that space. Is that artist there? They have an ability to break out of that noise over there. And then when you see like out of all those artists, there's that one. And you're like, okay, I'm backing this artist.
Interesting.
I'm gonna get him or her in the studio, and I'm gonna work with them. And when you see them pop up and shine, it's the greatest feeling. It's almost like for me when I get involved with a company and I'm like, wow, this is gonna be a game changer. It's the same excitement. Mm-hmm. So when you have that exit, I always think about this because I've been able to exit or been able to cash out on some things I've done. The amount of money that you make on that isn't the excitement. It's the excitement that you were able to get to the point of the inflection point where it does what it's supposed to do. It changes culture in some way.
Totally.
And you were part of that because you believed in something that wasn't there. That was only a few people believed in. You're in that room.
It's an addictive
It's
energy,
really
for sure.
exciting.
It really is.
That's why like the idea of people that are really good at finding these young artists that are about to pop, or really good at going, this song is going to break, generally have, I think, that secret sauce that we all looking for of finding it in culture. Because if you could do that in an area in culture that actually hits culture, like, so why does music? I feel like there's other artists like myself, like the Chainsmokers and like Kygo, that have really successful funds that are able to spot trends, decide, oh, we really believe this is going to happen, and you have to have a really solid team.
Definitely.
Like before, it was just me and my music team doing stuff, and we had some success for sure, like some really exciting points that I could talk all day about, but like now that I have an incredible team that just knows all the middle part that I don't want to deal with. I just want to I find the exciting things, bring it to them. Half the time they're saying no to it. I have to deal with,
saying no is a good thing, for sure.
deal with all that. But then, that's why you have them there. But it's a lot of fun.
It's interesting tying it back to the health side of it. You were talking about your house, right? You have multiple hyperbaric chambers. You have other elements of what you're doing focus on health. I think it's similar. So I'm sure, Jacob, when you went to Steve's, he probably showed you, and you should run through what they are that you saw, but it sounds very similar to music. You're not necessarily all in on one particular solution. You're trying different opportunities. You're going and testing different things. Your house being a great example.
Yeah, we have. This is excessive because when I get really into something, I get obsessively into it. So I built.
I'm looking at Jacob's face. He's laughing.
I'm laughing because when I saw his hyperbaric chambers, he had like 5 of them. I bought one too.
Yeah, so I have 3 of them in the house, which is excessive. I have a cold plunge that holds 20 people. And at Thanksgiving dinners, I surprise everyone, go, okay, everyone, we're going to the cold plunge. And I got a 75-year-old, which is probably dangerous. I don't know if I should do that. A 12-year-old niece. And I'm like, everyone, let's go. You know, like, so I have 4 other cold plunges. It's like 2 gyms. So I'm obsessed with health. I'm obsessed with testing. I'm obsessed with data. I'm obsessed with tech and gadgets that work. And obsessed with companies that are doing really, really innovative things in the space to help drive them and get to that moment where it just, you know, like seeing Whoop grow, like what it's done, like, you know, and Superpower to me is like, that's why we're on stage, because I want everyone to hear what Jacob's doing. So there's a lot of different things that are exciting, and I just want more people to hear about what he's doing as well.
Yeah, and Jacob, that's a great tee up actually for a special announcement that you have for the group here between the 2 of you. Would you like to share what that looks like?
Yes, so we're currently one of the fastest growing consumer companies in America, and we are excited to announce and share that we're officially bringing on Steve as a partner to help spread the word to more people and get more folks tested, in control of their health. And we're also opening a special investment round that Aoki Labs, his new fund, is going to be leading with exclusive terms, and we're really excited to have him involved in the company in a much deeper way.
Yeah, this is awesome. I'm really excited to share that with you guys. And we're hard launching Fund 2 right here on stage too, which is exciting. So
in typical Steve Aoki.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, so our first fund, we closed that early because one of our companies, Neuro, we got in at 20 million, and now it's, you know, it's like around 350. So we were like, okay, we want to take care of our LPs, close that, then hard launching Fund 2 right here, $100 million fund with Superpower, and all the excitement in what the 2 categories I look at. It's health and happiness, and entertainment and health is our main categories.
No, it's incredibly exciting. Congratulations. Jacob, what's the next big thing that we should be looking for with Superpower, that whether Steve is going to be promoting it or alongside, what's coming next?
Well, once you get an understanding of your health and the data, the question is always, well, what do I do with this? And there's a lot of interventions on the frontier that are now becoming accessible to more people. We've probably heard of peptides in the audience. GLP-1s, believe it or not, actually have more consumer revenue than all the AI companies, OpenAI, Claude, Anthropic, stacked together. So it's a multi-$100 billion revenue market, and we're going to be playing in the peptide and a lot of frontier therapeutics and supplements in a really big way, so that people can move the needle on their health in ways that aren't currently possible in the traditional medical paradigm.
And just so to understand, even between the 2 of you with the dynamic, are you? So you joked you're Steve's doctor day to day now. What types of things are you people learning from Superpower? How are you applying it, Steve, to the way you're going about your day to day?
I mean, the biggest thing is, like, most people have never had a holistic understanding of their health before. When you go to traditional annual physical, they're measuring about 10 to 20 markers, which is very lackluster as far as what's really going on under the hood. They oftentimes miss things like thyroid, your nutrient balances, toxins, testosterone, hormones, mitochondrial capacity, a lot of things that really matter and drive energy and disease, fertility, and longevity. So we look at around like 10 times more biomarkers as part of our annual $200 panel, which again is very accessibly priced, something we want most Americans to own. And it's something like 98% of members discover at least like 1 critically out of range value. So we really are discovering things that people would have otherwise missed. My parents now, they're nearing 65, they both just retired, and they found things with their prostate and thyroid that would have never been found on an annual physical, that potentially could have taken 10 years off their life if they hadn't started to address them early with some of the protocols that we do. So yeah, it's personal for me, and it's helping a lot of people.
It's such an incredible story. And Steve, I'm just curious, given your platform, how do you think about when you're excited about something, how do you leverage your brand, your platform? Do you go to social media? Is it through a network that you've built, through relationships?
It's a combination of many things. I mean, there's a lot of internal stuff that we're doing, you know, like, plus I'm doing like 200 shows. So it's, I like, because I'm global, I get to meet with a lot of different founders that we're working with. I mean, the first fund, we raised money for 17 companies, so they're all over the place. So I like to meet with everyone if I can. And,
of course.
I mean, I'm traveling. That's a lot.
200 shows a year is a lot, and you said that's on the low side.
Yeah, but around that. But yeah, I mean, and also obviously like media is a big deal. So it's about managing that, and how do you engage with that in a way where I'm educating but not boring my fans or people that actually follow me in the journey. But people generally that know about me, besides what the kind of bottom layer is of just like, oh, that's a cake throwing DJ guy, like.
Yeah.
But people that really know me know that like I'm obsessed with health, and I'm clearly an entertainer. So I'm trying to continue that journey with them, and I kind of let a lot of people know about my biomarkers and all that stuff because I want people to know what works and what doesn't work, and who the people that I trust and the companies that I work with that I think actually have a real effect or an impact on my life or the things I see.
Yeah, I definitely think that, especially GLP-1s, all of this media attention around health, but then public figures coming out and sharing their data, sharing information, sharing that they're using these types of solutions really is expanding it. So it makes complete sense that you're focused on that.
I mean, I love seeing it like when my friends are sharing their data, and I mean, it's like the new world we live in. Like social media is all about not showing just the pretty sides of your life.
Definitely.
It's about showing everything so that people can really follow that.
Yeah, definitely. Great. Well, thank you both for being up here. This has been amazing. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Great.